All right, welcome to Chapter 5, Section 2, called Algebraic Proofs. So this is for IM2 or Integrated Math 2. The first thing you'll see on your page is the due date here. I just don't see it on my teacher preview, but it is on the student page. Second thing is unlimited attempts. So we always allow unlimited attempts. You're not limited on how many times you can submit the assignment. This particular assignment only has one question, so it just depends on the section what's available there. Grading policy is best score, so whichever attempt is the best one is the one you keep. And partial credit's enabled, which means, if you only answer one of the multiple questions, you get your points. With this one, you either answer the one question or you don't. You don't get partial credit within the one question. So with this one, once you start your homework, make sure that you finish it before you can start anything else. What that means is when I click start, there's a submit assignment button down here on the bottom. And I need to make sure that I click that submit assignment button when I'm ready to leave the screen. Whether or not I've started this, I need to click it. Now, if you've started working on this and you have not finished it, finish the one question and click check. Otherwise, it will not save your place within here. It won't know that. So don't leave the screen and think that you're going to come back and half the problem will still be filled in. That's not how the save button works here, or the submit button works. But the submit button does help you not get locked out of the rest of your assignments, and it also helps your teacher with knowing what you've been working on, what percentage you got, and it changes the grade book. So definitely a big benefit. Click that button. We have the 3 tools on the side here. So explanation will explain this exact problem, so you're going to lose the question attempt because you're not going to get the answer and then get to come type it in. Example will show you an example of what it expects you to do here. And so this, I'm going to take a picture of this guy because this is in the notes page, and this is important. We want to keep this because these are the properties we're going to use right now to solve this algebraic proof. So we're going to choose a step on what's happening. So they show us the steps here, and we get to decide what's happening and why we're doing it. And then you can also message your teacher here. So let me grab that page that I just took a picture of. Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay, so now it's here so I can see it and it's nice and open. So you should have your notes pages open when you're doing this because this page is on your notes. So very, very nice thing to have open with you. So for this one, we have the equation x minus 6 divided by 4 equals -9, and it's going to solve in several steps below. It is solved. So for each step, what we have to do when we start getting to proofs in the geometry section here is every step we take, we need to explain why we're taking that step. So it's very different. It's a different form of thought here because we don't just get to go from step to step. We have to truly understand why am I going from step to step. So with this one, I start with this first step, and it's the reason I wrote it down is it's given. And keep in mind too, in a proof, if you don't write it down, it doesn't exist. So if I didn't write the given down, I have nothing to start with. So that's why we put the given in here. This is what we're starting with. The next step, I just look at what's happening. So with this one, I can see here's the x minus 4 divided by 4, but now I have this times 4 on the side. And I have my -9, but I also have times 4. So this is actually how we solve the equation. We start, because the whole side's being divided by 4, I'm going to multiply by 4 on both sides to get rid of that fraction. So if I come over here and I look, we have distributive property, which we can distribute this a. And if it's on this side, we can also distribute the a. So we'd end up with these pieces here. We have addition property saying I can add the same thing to both sides. Subtraction property says I can subtract the same thing from both sides. Multiplication property, I can divide or multiply the same thing on both sides. And then division property, I can divide the same thing on both sides. So I'm multiplying by 4 on both sides. So that is the multiplication property of equality. Then all of a sudden all these 4's disappeared and this became 36. So with this step, what I did was I did 4 divided by 4 became 1. And it goes away. It just becomes x minus 6. That's all that's left over. And on this side, I simplified the multiplication here. So this is actually just simplifying. That's all I did there in that step. Was I simplified to move forward, to get rid of these 4's here and to combine these two numbers. Now I can see this x minus 6 down here. And now I'm adding 6 to both sides. So that's one of my properties here. I can add the same thing to both sides. It doesn't change the step, or the equation, not the step. So now I went from -6 plus 6 to just x. So there's just x on this side, and negative 36 plus 6 turned into negative 30. Well, this is the same thing that happened here. I'm just simplifying these pieces. I'm combining my like terms and simplifying. So that's the reason that I took that step, was it was simplifying. I'm going to go ahead and check, and we're good to go there. So that was section 2. I will see you in section 3.